This is hell. This is hell. And sorry to tell you, it never gets better. Well. Greetings, boils and ghouls, and welcome to a very special Tales from the Soup. Tonight's special deformer is going to kill on stage, but he will not be the one dying on it. I'm speaking of Rick McIntyre, a murderer of his caliber we don't have anymore on stage ever since the hashtag Don't Kill Me Too movement. Okay, I'm done. Welcome to hell. I'm here, and all of you are here temporarily. You can get off the Stone Soup anytime you want. And looks like Ethan Mackler jumped right off. I think he's been trying to get his mic to connect since 7:30, since 6:30 this evening. That's what it's like when you're trying to connect to hell. Sometimes it's tough, and sometimes they let you ride on it because, hey, why not? If you want to go to hell, then why not? Why not have us not impede you? You know, that's a smart set of devils working there. So I get to recycle all the jokes I said during the Facebook feed when I thought I was recording, but it turns out I was rehearsing. Turns out Jerry Lee Lewis is here, but I found out that he had been actually building up property value in his spot for the last 20, 30 years. He existed in the nether realm and the real world at the same time. Also, you know who else is here? The new House Speaker, because, hey, he believes in it. It's magic every show, guys, I swear. Rick McIntyre is the author of many things, the author of many books. He'll tell you about it. Hopefully he'll share his PayPal, his Venmo, and a donation will not only help Rick McIntyre say thank you, it'll be a good deed to help me get out of hell. Don't you think so, Bill? Oh, sorry. Hi, Bill. Anyway, we will... Bill is here in his best jack-o'-lantern costume. I'm just waiting for him to put the candle in his mouth and go. Anyway, oh, Bill. Anyway, I'm like another year away of looking like Skeletor with this hair. So I'm speaking as kindred spirit. We will get going now with the open mic, and hopefully some more people will be joining us. Jan Rowe and James Van Looy are restarting their computer, hoping to join us. We got some phone guests tonight. So now I am going to put us on for the first speaker of the night, the first performer. Let's go now to Rita Rusty Rose.
Hello, boys and ghouls. This is going to be a fun night in hell. Midnight approaching. Midnight belongs to the dead, never roused no more. Every weary bobbled head forsaken in a corpse drawer. Half past the 11th hour, they stir, there is an unrest. A scraping strain of willpower, reviving the departed distressed. Straight up, it's 12 o'clock. Time is clang, all souls break through. At your door you'll hear a knock. A spirit's presence you cannot eschew, as the departed force the living to unglue.
Oh, that was a real bare bones performance. Okay. So thank you very much, Rita Rusty Rose. And now we will go to our next performer. I feel like getting this started, but the Ramdonator, or rather I should say the Ramdonator 5000 is electing to select, got out of that one, to someone else coming up a little earlier than the Ramdonator 5000 would normally place them. So let's welcome up Nava the Butterfly, a recent Stone Soup performer, recent feature. And she's back in hell with us.
Uh-oh. I had no idea I was going to be up. So is it a theme tonight?
You can do whatever you'd like. If you want to do something
Okay.
spooky, if you want to do the blood poem like you did last time, we can't get enough of that one.
Okay. I guess. So
It's totally, it's completely up to you.
Okay, then. So I will do it. I guess I should try to come on camera, huh?
If you
I
like.
always have a hard time coming on. Okay.
There we are.
There we go. Yeah. Um,
Half of the
this is a
butterfly on
blood.
this on the set of Deathbed, the bed that eats people, which is an actual movie. Go on.
Razors. Did you know they show a kind act of love? Picture me at 18, not taking life or myself serious enough. Well, not as serious as some could take razors in love. See, I discovered one day just horsing around on a carousel ride of trauma covered in blood. We can all chase dreams, but few of us catch them. I discovered I needed to be careful where I was dreaming to. Careful like I was in love. Careful like I was using razors to chisel through the ground until I reached the earth's blood and bones. I also discovered rubbing razors in love the wrong way can feel as if you had a brush with death. See, God got it wrong. Love should be barricaded by stone walls instead of hearts and songs. Love is messy and poetic, and it carries a ratchet razor that I often use. Now, understand, cuts are messengers too, and they tattletale and dry snitch every chance they get about my anger, my fear, my secret stash of razors to a world that couldn't possibly understand. What the hell? They never got the memo that my pain is shy, doesn't want anyone to know that I can't love normal. Just insane and misunderstood, so I stay quiet. I'm barely heard. I got a voice as loud as silence. And in the bedroom, I make as much noise as a butterfly. Ironic, they call me Nava the butterfly. Because when I speak, it's poetic. And there are no safe words, just someone else's slit wrists pouring out of me. Oh, negative. Premeditated blood drops will leave a trail of clues to what is really wrong with me, and I confess. I am sick and creative. I am something you can't just go simply sleep off, so sweet dreams. It's going to take more than razor sharp words and music that sings to what's between my legs to fix me. It's going to take God running from every direction at once just to come and hold me. And I will tell them, I want to be like lovebirds do on the first day of spring, but I can't in a world that look like shattered mirrors, a world that is someone else's heaven and someone else's hell. So sometimes I play the hero and the villain too, as I try to pick up the pieces of myself, 5 at a time, to put me back together again, and I can't. So I hurt with razors for now, but one day, ooh, I will hurt with kindness, and I will be amazing, and not lead love down a dark alleyway full of vampire silhouettes where blood don't wash away so easily, where Halloween is celebrated like Christmas. No, so I'm just joking. You know what it is? I want to be that poet to make your heart race. I want to take a razor, do a couple of dope lines like I was Scarface. Razors.
Thank you, Nava. Pour yourself a Bloody Mary and sit back, and congratulations for adding to the ambience of this show. Up next, Bill Lewis.
Thank you so much, Chatford. Oh, what a wonderful day it is. You know what today is? It is Wednesday. It is almost Halloween. And for my students, I have carved myself a pumpkin. There it is. It's yeah, I didn't have room for the mouth because I ran out of pumpkin, but who cares? My students love me. I had the best time today. Having students is what makes my life happy. It's like my meaning in life. I'm telling them about some really complicated stuff, and it's really exhausting, and I'm panting and sweating, and I get to the end of it, and one of the students puts up this little Jubilee sign that he's clapping. And I just felt so wonderful that my students were like really appreciating all this work. And so I was a happy camper, and I'm gonna be happy. So I did write something just because I was thinking, oh, trick or treats, right. trick-or-treating. This is the last time before Halloween. Trick or treat, or trick and treat. The former would be nice, but the latter is naughty and sweet. Halloween is the time to be mysterious and wear masks. And you do things you normally wouldn't, because it wasn't really you that they asked. It was another person who did that thing you'd never do except in a dream. But now it's all over. No, it never occurred. I didn't see you do it. You have my word. Halloween parties, if you didn't do something at a Halloween party that you don't want, then you haven't had a real Halloween party. So
Thank you very much, Bill. And now we're going to go to one of our telephone participants. Let us welcome up Nancy Dodson. All she has to do is press star 666 and she'll unmute.
War. The need to fight is there when upon endangered species everywhere. I hope the number of dead will cease. Unfortunately, the dead will be increased, especially in the Middle East. Thank God I'm not a fighting age. Bless peace come when battles are planned. Anger and hatred must go. God loves us all, and we love him. Bring peace, 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 especially in the Middle East.
Forget the ghouls and goblins. It's really scary out there. Thank you very much, Nancy. Up next, I'd like to welcome up CC Ashagra, who might play a little bit on the bones for us if I see his background correctly. Having a hard time unmuting? Let me ask you to unmute. It might be a one-click thing.
Hey, there it is. How's
There
that?
you are. Yes.
Oh my God. All right. Okay.
Welcome to hell. Sorry you didn't get the memo.
That's okay. That's okay. All right. I got a song with the word death in the opening line. Will that do?
Oh, I think so.
All right. Do I have the music set right so I can talk and sing? It's not jumping. Okay, it's not blocking itself. Okay, unless I do it on this tablet, it's not working on it doesn't work on a phone with the music. It just cuts out. I can't find the button on those other two devices. So luckily, I have this backup. All right, life is only death, but not forever. Rivers only waters, not dry bones. Oops, not dry bones. There it is. I should start again. Okay, let me just start again. Life is only death, but not forever. Rivers only waters, not dry bones. And love is only everything, is a miracle. And you and I, the song forever. Noon And time is only clocks, not broken yet. And a knife is just a tool, a useful kind one, that no one ever needs to harm true love with. And a man is just a whoa without a gravestone. A child, only tears that wait to laugh. And aging is just a series of soul lessons. As if all moments equal one lifespan. But hunger is the price of dreams become form. And thirst reminds the oceans they're not sky. And eyes and ears are always learning to feel. Further than you see why you are here. While the ground of love is only all the sky knows, where sight becomes how beauty can let the blind see. Where visions lift the heart up and rest in peace there. Where you can catch your last breath and walk your soul home. You see, life is only death, but not forever. And rivers only waters, not dry bones. And love is only everything is a miracle. And you and I, the song forever. Happy Halloween, and hi, Rick.
That was awesome. Oh
Who?
my God.
A dirge worthy of hell, boys and ghouls. Excuse me while I take a sip.
I forgot to light the piano on fire. It was a side effect, but I didn't want to ruin the piano.
Jerry Lee Lewis is around here somewhere. So you see, he would take umbrage with that.
Oh yeah.
Seriously, he'll walk by somewhere. Did you know
There you
Sprite
go.
Zero is one of the choice drinks of hell, along with Mr. Pibb, Shasta Orange, and Canada Dry Tonic Water?
And
Anyway.
pineapple pizza, by the way.
Pineapple is fine if you do not, if you don't just lump the pieces on there. If you don't dice it up, then yes, you're going to hell. That's the latest theological decision passed down. California Pizza Kitchen is going to hell. Anyway. Hopefully our next reader will spin a tale of one of his favorite characters of his assortment of deadbeat detectives. Let's welcome up John Wesick.
Thank you, Chad. I found this magazine, the website called Oddball Magazine, and so this piece appeared.
Oh, they're all in hell. They're all in
Oddball,
hell.
yes. It's called La Belle Epoque. Mildred Ovid looked through the window at the horse-drawn carriage and gasped as her niece, Philadelphia, stepped onto the running board before descending to the cobblestones. She wore a stretchy black gown that revealed way too much cleavage. It just wouldn't do. Ever since Captain Ned went missing on the Marie Celeste, Mildred had struggled to make ends meet, even relying on the generosity of gentlemen callers. As she aged, it became harder to hide her wrinkles. Even her corset couldn't camouflage the extra weight around her middle. If she played her cards right, Philadelphia would finance a comfortable old age. Sure, Mr. Pluto's skin was too pale to be healthy, but he'd inherited a vast mining empire. A marriage to Philadelphia would keep Mildred in laudanum for the rest of her days if only the girl would put on a corset. Philadelphia was too much of a free spirit to control. She even requested a pair of dueling pistols for her 18th birthday. Her choice in men was even worse. She was smitten by Mr. Marcel Proust. Not only did he sit around eating cookies all day, but he was a writer. Mildred would deal with him at tonight's banquet. After the maid set out plates of carpaccio, Pluto dug into the bloody beef with gusto. His chest-length beard hung in a column of ringlets, and his torso filled his suit jacket like a block of granite. More water, Mr. Pluto? Proust offered a carafe after exaggerating the pronunciation. There was something of the gypsy about him, with his dark eyes and olive skin. You jest, sir. Pluto's voice was so deep it rattled windows. Pluto is the Gallicized pronunciation of a name from a language lost in prehistory. Before the age of heroes, before the great culture of Crete, before the city of Uruk, mortals whispered my name in reverence and fear. The carpaccio is very tender, don't you think? Mildred asked Philadelphia. Philadelphia nodded. Tell me, Mr. Pluto, what do you do for a living? Mildred asked. I tear wealth from the bowels of the earth. I have amassed enough gold, silver, and palladium to buy nations, but what do I care about mere mortals? No matter whether rich or poor, after a few rounds of Phoebus's chariot, all descend to my underworld realm to do my bidding for eternity. With all those riches, you must live in a marvelous mansion, Mildred motioned to the maid to bring the sole Meunier. For eons I lived under the smoky crater of Mount Tartarus, where mortals feared death would strike any who dared trespass. If the screech of my thigh-bone flute didn't fill their bowels with icicles, balls of heat lightning and sulfuric fumes would. My privacy lasted until the meddling volcanologists made their way to my summit. May pyroclastic flows burn them for eternity. So where do you live now? I downsized to a townhouse at the Rue de la Paix after strangling the joists to support my obsidian throne. It meets my needs. Plus, it's within walking distance of the metro. And how about you, Mr. Proust? Where do you live? Mildred asked. In Mamma's house in Cambrai, surrounded by plane trees, currant bushes, and the buzzing of honeybees, drunk on the perfume of lavender. At night I dream my bed is a lifeboat I cling to after escaping a pirate attack off San Miguel. Of the brigands I can only say that they rode a trireme, rowed by vegan Aztecs, and the captain had a parrot with a peg leg, he having claimed it as booty from a tanker full of adulterated olive oil off the Straits of Malacca. My soft pillow becomes the gunwales, and the crickets chirps the swearing of that cursed bird as the Atlantic dashes my craft in its waves. Then, when the titmouse calls and dawn peeks through the curtains, I realize I'm in my room with its chair, writing desk, and cuspidor that seems to be the only one in the world. The sea water that I tried to drink in desperation is none other than my Egyptian cotton sheeps. Soon Mamma will greet me with a bowl of cafe au lait, a kiss on the forehead, and a medium rare moose steak from the animal she dispatched in the garden before sunrise. Your mamma's home. Mildred set down her fork. You must have quite the career to afford that. I work at the bibliothèque, where the chief librarian has the unruly mustache of a Visigoth or perhaps a Bothnian, hiding from a suspicious glare among the dusty stacks. The old leather smell reminds me of an elephant's musk as it labors in a Thai logging camp. My arms ache from hauling volumes of Baudelaire and Rimbaud, much like a mahout's arms tire after scrubbing a bull elephant with a coconut husk. Alas, the dust proved too much for my asthma, so I've been on sick leave for the past decade. Proust tasted the sole. The fish seems overcooked, as if it were wrapped in banana leaves and buried under hot coals instead of being sautéed in butter. Let me get more wine. Mildred carried the empty bottle of Montrachet Grand Cru into the kitchen, refilled it with cheap table wine, and brought it back. Are you married, Mr. Pluto? Divorced. Persephone's mother never liked me. She left years ago when her lawyers took me to Hygeia. May vultures feed on their livers for eternity. Pluto banged his fist on the table before cleansing his palate with lime sorbet. You're an eligible bachelor, then. Mildred turned to her niece. Someone like Mr. Pluto would make an excellent catch. And Mildred, I'm barely 18. You aren't getting any younger. Mildred motioned to the maid to set out the blanquette de veau. My compliments to the cook. Pluto raised his fork. This veal is pale as a blind cave-fish. Reminds me of my younger days under Mount Tartarus, before that fool Orpheus ruined my peace and quiet with his damn guitar. Thank you. Mildred turned to Proust. How about you, Mr. Proust? How will you support children on your salary as a furloughed librarian? Really, Aunt Mildred, Philadelphia rested a hand on Proust's forearm. Marcel and I are just dance partners. He's teaching me the steps to the Madison. Still, a girl needs to think of her future, Mildred said. Marcel is writing a novel. Philadelphia looked up at Proust. And I'm going to write one too. When my book is the talk of Paris, you'll see. The maid set out plates of salade lyonnaise. I miss a woman's company. Pluto took Mildred's hand and brought it to his icy lips. Mildred, your witty repartee sends my I-core pumping. Would you do me the honor of dining with me this Friday? The bouquet of asphodels sprang from his fingers as if by magic. I don't know what to say. Mildred blushed and placed her hand over her heart. Of course, I'd be delighted. Portia, please bring out the cheese plate and coffee. Thanks for dinner, Aunt Mildred, but Marcella and I have to go. Philadelphia stood. They're having a dance contest at the Bacchus Club, and Anna Karina is judging the Madison. I thought that name sounded familiar, Prue said after he and Philadelphia climbed into the carriage. When Pluto mentioned ancient languages, I thought of Sumerian wizards charting the stars from atop ziggurats or Brahmins reciting the Bhagavad Gita in Sanskrit. I was so engrossed in Orientalism that I forgot Latin. Pluto sounds like Pluto, god of the underworld. Silly, Philadelphia punched Prue's shoulder. What would a Roman god be doing in 19th century Paris? Philadelphia brushed dead leaves off the polished granite of her aunt's tombstone. Mildred had seemed so happy when leaving on her honeymoon to Mount Etna with Mr. Pluto. Tragedy cut her celebration short when she fell into the crater and lava swallowed her. All that was left to bury were some broken fingernails and a lock of hair. Strangely, no matter when Philadelphia visited, the asphodels on Mildred's grave were always fresh.
There's Hell, and then there's Proust. Thank you so much. Personally, I prefer A Fracture of Dorian Slay, but to each their own. But I will remind you that Oddball Magazine is accepting submissions still until midnight tonight for
How
modern
did you
take
not
on
call that the portrait of Dorian Grave? How did you miss that one? Go to hell.
It's really fucking hard to make puns based on poets and writers. It's actually really hard. I thought I did a good job. Anyway, I would have also accepted Dorian Gray, but Jesus. Anyway, submit to Oddball Magazine tonight, and you can by midnight tonight, and you can be part of the horror-thon going on until Halloween next Tuesday. So go to the Oddball Submittable site and submit. Yeah. Our last reader for tonight is probably really confused because she's only on the phone and can't see anything. So for her edification, I'm going to quickly pin my picture and do a screenshot and show it to her next, and make a photo and show it to her so she gets the whole joke. So if you'll give me a liberty. There we go. Thank you. And now, without further ado, let's go now to Carol Weston, who I shall also press star 6664 and get her back on.
Well, John, I think that was extraordinary. Okay, so friends had me over to dinner. I think they were scholars of early English, and they handed me a pint. I didn't think anything about it. And I left after dinner, got up, and walked in a very strange pace all the way to the station, and then took the train to New York. Angst. Out along the street of the particular, leaving my bags of books behind. The fruit for sale was glistening with flies. Likewise, I too was powerless. I opened giant vaginal lips, and in hordes, cripples and the insects crawled upon my shore.
Thank you very much, Carol. Good to have you on tonight. Regrets to Jan Rowe and James Van Loy, who couldn't make it on because of computer problems. And Props to Mr. Ethan Mackler, who couldn't make it. I guess he couldn't hook up. He couldn't hook up his audio. And also, Rick, do you know what was also hanging there and we missed? From Proust, dismemberance of things past. Good God, it was right there. All right. So I don't know. Rick was trying to say something. I don't know if he thought we could hear him, but he was on mute. But I will let you know that we don't have a finalized feature for next week, but I hope to make the announcement very soon. And for that, and also for other future features. We actually have people who are going to be booked as far back as June. But it's funny, every time I get a feature that I can book ahead, I always have a hard time booking a feature for the following week. So we'll figure it out. And hopefully we're getting some good response to the video from Facebook, who a couple of people have reacted to the video. So that's great. And this will be, of course, playing on YouTube tomorrow, hopefully by 9 o'clock. And it looks like we are ready for the feature. I'm looking forward to this. Let us read the boiling plate of Rick's press release, shall we? Like I said, it's really hard to do writing horror puns, but let's go to, but his bio is almost a horror pun in and of itself. Rick McIntyre has been a presence on the New England poetry scene for decades. He has toured extensively around the continental United States and Canada, appearing on stages as varied as NYC's New School, Boston's ICA, Portsmouth, New Hampshire's Music Hall, Lollapalooza, and the very first Legends of the Slam showcase at the National Poetry Slam in 2006, Austin, Texas. Austin, Texas. He has also appeared at countless poetry venues, festivals, and house parties. He has been published widely, most notably in the Worcester Review, Off the Coast, Short Fuse, an anthology of new fusion poets, and Aim for the Head, an anthology of zombie poetry. What? See, this almost writes itself. He has 2 collections of poetry that could be horror related, After Everything Burns, and The Man at the Door. Ooh. Followed by the sequel, The Man Is Actually Calling from Inside the House. He is currently pursuing a degree and a second life. In theater, he currently works at a haunted house and occasionally talks to ghosts. Ladies and gentlemen, clap any 2 hands you have with you together 30 or 40 times for Rick McIntyre.
Tentacles are acceptable too. So, yeah, my backdrop is the sitting room of the Lizzie Borden house, including a replica of the couch where Andrew met his doom. So, I might be slipping in a few. I've been well. Let's start with the famous poem that everyone knows at least half of. Lizzie Borden took an axe and gave her mother 40 whacks, and when she saw what she had done, she gave her father 41. Andrew Borden now is dead. Lizzie hit him in the head. Up in heaven he will sing. From the gallows she will swing. So the poet gets it wrong at least 3 times or more. As we don't know if Andrew could sing, and whether he ended up in heaven or might be standing behind Chad even now. Oh, I like the way you keep disappearing into hell and coming back. That's nice. All right, so let me start with this poem, The Moon is a Ghost Story. If I told you I was a ghost story, would you believe me? If so, what are the details that would sell the story? Think about what that exposes about you, about the fear, about the dance that you do with it. What is my face? What phases do I wear acting out your fear, giving it shape, teaching it to walk upright and proud in the moonlight? And on the hollow fear nights, that moon means nothing but a minus in the night sky. My white face turned around, dark side backwards, the leering lunacy of my cold smile, a rictus of a dead thing that knows it, is looking outwards, not at the planets, but at the swirl of other skulls floating around them in a dance macabre. So, look at any night sky and then tell me I'm wrong, that I'm not a ghost already whispering to you in the dark. And I'm going to throw in some updates I have done on the Lizzie poem. If Lizzie Borden had a mace, she would have smashed her father's face. Abby was already dead, many mace wounds on her head. So there you go. Let me find where I put. Oh, the. All right. Well, hopefully I can figure out my way through this set list. There it is. All right. Organization poet. Okay, this is called Roadside Memorial. It goes from being, sorry, and obviously this is dedicated to those little improvised roadside memorials you see where there's been deaths by accidents. It goes from being any road to being that one of the scene of the accident, the where in what happened. Even now, you can't describe it, words lacking traction. You are unable to share the feeling out loud. I guess you had to be there to know what happened. The impact, a terrible certainty, time gone a special kind of sideways, time sliced, ticking still frame, flash, soundtrack, slow-mo, exploding glass and steel, and human unhappiness. Most of what you will recall later are the things you don't remember. The time leading up to the wreck, whatever you were doing that blinded you, whatever happened to your left shoe afterwards. Everything from before is canceled reality. That was then. There's now no trace of anything. The roadway division has come and gone. Bristle broom, magic done, scene hosed down. It looks like any road that could happen to two people. No evidence we were ever here. Nothing to see. Move along. And every haunting is a resurrection. Every resurrection is a second chance. I promised her I would stay until I'm dead. And after that, I am out of here, gone a haunting. I will be 3 sheets to the wind and gone through the walls. I'm simply waiting for my shell to give up, and while my tired body tries to break, it can't undo itself any faster. Breath shakes and shrieks, rattles bronchially like lost opportunity. The rooms of my heart echo trip hammer, my sepulchre spine. She curves in on herself, an origami. Look, I made a flawed deconstruction of myself. But you can't have a good ghost story without someone stupid enough to go into the dark house all alone, and I am the only one. Phantom, victim, both. We know how this ends. With no one to steal from sleep but myself, I'll kiss the walls of memory, fade scratches until I dream of life. Again, we circle back, and that's my issue. This is me trying to raise the dead from my heart. There is no answer. Okay, so a little less doom and gloomy, but there'll be more later, so don't worry. Oh, let me do a Lizzie just an hour before noon stalked her father with a harpoon. Abby lay upstairs a beached whale 40 times she was impaled. Okay. This is called Hook. And this is a little, well, it's a little bit lighter. But it's about the Peter Pan character. You know what I hate most about children? There is no pleasing them, no matter what you do. They say, be a scary pirate, and I am. They say, wave a sword, try to get us, be the bad guy, but let us win. I did. I waved, I tried, I was. Enough. Children just do not know. They want a land of never so long as it's never do homework, never have to eat turnips, never grow up, never bathe to tell by their smell. Demanding little horrors, children expect a world made of several fantastical elements simultaneously, at least two of which are utterly impossible. But I digress. I digress because there is no point trying to unwrite myself from this charade, but I would be happy with the correction of a few minor details. First, Peter Pan never cut off my hand. I got this hook after a rather high-spirited night in a transvestite bar around Singapore Way. Don't ask. Nextly, if I wanted to kill the Lost Boys, consider I command a Spanish galleon with 40 heavy cannon and 200 murderous crew if I wanted them dead. Finally, I am not in possession of phobias regarding crocodiles or watches. I have a healthy fear of the former because they are crocodiles. And I do not fear time because I recognize it as yet another fight I will never win. It would be like asking J.M. Barr to excuse me from his little romper room Ragnarok before he wrote me into it, but that never happened, so now it never will. This endless battle will begin anew every time a child opens the book to read, or more likely will not stop pestering their parent until it is read for them. And every time it begins again, I will take my place at the helm, futile cutlass in hand, exhorting my worthy foe, the Pan. Our roles in this burden we hoist again upon our shoulders. I'll make ready the cannons, you sprinkle fairy dust or whatever it is you do. Neither of us are getting any older. Lizzie with a Scottish maul caved in the back of Abby's skull. Andrew died round about 11. Only half his skull made it to heaven. All right. This is a poem I wrote. I find history fascinating. Duh, you work in a haunted house. But this is a story that occurred shortly after World War II when a flight of torpedo bombers on a routine maneuvers out of Florida took off and are presumed to be lost somewhere in the Bermuda Triangle. So some of this poem is the recorded dialogue that came in on the radio transmissions. I'll try to make that part obvious. When we took off, east was east. Oh, I'm sorry, this is called The Last Message from Lieutenant Charles Taylor for the missing men from Flight 19. When we took off, east was east and west was west the way it should be. Everything hunky-dory for Flight 19. It comforted us all to know that even flying blind, our instruments reached out and grabbed the air, coaxing speed and stability out of the rough marriage of thin air and a 9-ton torpedo bomber. All you need is one strong hand on the stick, the other hand holding whatever God gave you for good luck, and you hold on. We call ourselves masters of the air, but it doesn't take even a nickname that dumb to call up bad trouble, fast as storm clouds that looked like worst case scenarios. All you have to do is lose the horizon, or notice something as weird as all 5 planes were missing clocks. There are so many things strange that day, you'd think God was working overtime just to make sure the world was weird enough. First, we lost Florida, even though we were on top of her the whole time. West Coast and East Coast shrugged their shoulders. Our instruments started speaking in tongues. Someone said, I don't know where we are. We must have gotten lost after that turn. But whoever it wasn't me. Panic started as a taste in my mouth, sharp as a blade, reflecting my eyes wide back at me in the cockpit glare as our fuel gauges began breathing down our necks. We were lost, I admit it. Both of my compasses are out, I said, like apology to the 14 men I knew would be swimming soon at best. My last messages were caught in the act of cursing God. Damn it, if we could just fly west, we could get home. Head west, damn it. What happened next? Happened. No one will ever know, but the sky will always be full of theory and speculation. In one story, we are flying eternal air cover for the Marie Celeste, forever nowhere near 32 degrees 20 minutes north by 64 degrees 45 minutes west. We lost our way, but we do not know why. Florida should have been there. The most likely story is that the whole flight didn't survive the water landings, which can be rough even in calm seas. But maybe the crazies are right. Maybe we were blasted from the sky like the PBM-5 they sent out to look for us. Maybe we were target practice for UFOs. Maybe we were kidnapped and live in some alien zoo. Maybe all of this is true. Maybe nothing ever happened. Maybe we just flew through a door in the world and we are flying still. All planes close up tight. We'll have to ditch unless landfall. When the first plane drops below 10 gallons, we'll all go down together. All right. Hold on. Oh, whoops. Okay. The next one is called The Living Dig, but the Dead Don't Remain. We, the dead, are tired of being asked to prove things to the living. Maybe it seems easy to just sit there in the future passing judgment on us primitives, but we were people in our time. We are more than bones and burial chambers, bigger than words like ancestors. It was us, our rough stone wheels and cave paintings that allow you to drive to the movie theaters today, or what you call today. You should have some respect for the dead when you walk over what remains. Our revenge is a certain thing. Forget zombies. We will take our toll on you in things that disappear with us. The great forest of Europe, the last tiger, drinkable water. Really, we dead need do nothing to outlast the living, so we abide the grave robbing you call archaeology. I mean, do you think we stay in the dull ground below with treasure, our weapons, 1,000 clay warriors, a great pyramid? Oh, stupid flesh. Oh, foolish mud. We dead are long gone to whatever heaven or hell or oblivion we believed in. We have left the world behind, along with our bodies and our burial dress. Dig it up if it helps you. Catalog everything like it means something. When you've added it all up, you'll have rusty swords and crowns. You'll have everything we left behind, but not us. As you dig, smell the dirt so that when you die, you won't mistake this for home. And this next poem is one of those reactions to a poem prompt, but it was such a bizarre poem prompt. Well, what it was is at the National Poetry Slam, RIP, may it never rise from the dead. And this is from Ardent at Last Slammer. That's a long story. I'm not going to go into it. But I was at this slam, and in one of the events, we were sitting around doing a writing workshop, and this one we each were asked for a writing prompt, and this one guy, sort of an extra from a California surf movie, said, write about ghosts or lesbians. And I said, can we write about lesbian ghosts? And he said, no. So that's what I did. And this is called Ghost Story, The Seaside House. Maddie fell in love with a live girl, sounding like rustling salt grass, the smallest shadow of a sea breeze. Emma knew her heart had chosen, and whatever walked with her in the house she now owned brought a welcome warmth. There was nothing of fear in her pale, pale arms. Maddie kissed Emma in the dark, held her in hands of cool silk, pressed herself close, soft body and ghost, now floating upwards. What holds their heart together? They make promises to each other's eyes to be chosen, to never again be alone. Now, in the marriage bed that lies between their worlds, the golden ring on her finger, Emma remembers hearing Maddie for the first time, praying what she heard was real. Maddie forgets all of her previous life. Here in the seaside house, she floats, suspended in a state of grace, her faith rewarded. She lifts her hands to Emma's blushed cheek, daring to dream this. So somebody earlier mentioned Pluto. So this is a poem about Karen, the guy who operates the ferry over the river Styx. It's called Pale Boatman and the River Home. Call me the ultimate collector, I couldn't care less. It means nothing, like any of my names. I have no competition in what I do, so it's all the same. I am the mouth of a great river feeding the ocean. Everything moves to the sea eventually. I keep my hands open and so soft. Most everyone is surprised at how gentle I am, no matter the circumstances of their dying. Expectation is hell, and like everything else, I am not what people think. I am no one's representative. I don't labor in the employ of any final destination. I'm the riverboat man, the chalk white hand that beckons to the lost. I stand at the door between here and where they are sure they are bound. Hell is in the mind of the beholder just as heaven is seated even in the doubting heart. I don't sit in judgment, that's not my job. I'm not angel any more than I am horror. I just row the boat. I just drive the sweet chariot. I simply stand at the door and my hands are surprisingly soft, just like a river mouth. Isn't it time you rested? Here, let me take you home. All right. And this was a prompt. The prompt originally was write about a minor god who realizes their last worshiper has just died. And as it's obvious already that I don't follow directions, um, I wrote this instead, which is the god of the forgotten gods. When entities have been forgotten, become lost or unfriended, they come to me. In the days before, this was a ritual of certainty and surrender. So many God stories are about the ending of things. If you are going to choose only one belief about gods, choose this. Not a single human knows anything. No one has ever begotten an accurate description. They get it wrong. With a single fabric unweaving inconsistency, the well rounded, fantastic, and true religion is revealed for what they are, a child's drawing of the indescribable. Usually superheroes of some kind who are better, kinder, or not. Some are just bigger, and all children know this. The biggers can push the smaller of them down because they can. Of course, they worship that. Gods and heavens don't exist unless they do, and that's as accurate as any anthology or liturgy gets. What happened to the discarded works of men? Where do old gods go to die in quiet isolation? They come to me, Preservatus, the god of the forgotten gods. They come because I remember their names when names die, remember their high holy days, remember the sacrifices they favored, know the essence that a litany of voice is crucial to maintain. I mean, I bring them meals and sing songs only they and I still remember the words to, for as long as they can yet hold their shape. Afterwards, I put them to sleep in grounds beyond the reach of prayer and supplication, a place where the gods are safe from men. So throw a prayer into the air and see if someone's listening there. Close your eyes, count back from 10. See if someone's listening then. All right, now I've got one more poem, and we'll end with a ghost story. Only this is a real ghost story, but hold on a second. Um, all right, well, we're just gonna go for the pop culture reference, because why not? Darth Darth Lizzie flew her Death Star straight, removing Alderaan from space. Referencing Star Wars is a gimmick to show our Lizzie knew no limits. Here we go. And lastly, this is called Letting Ghosts. It was the last, sorry. It was the weekend of the Hampshire Festival of the Hampshire. One more time. It was the weekend of the Hampshire Festival. God damn it. We'll cut this out in post production, right? Except on the live feed. Okay, damn it.
Yes, we'll
All of you in live feed land are sworn to secrecy. So anyway, I'm going to do a last poem perfectly, as it turns out. This is hell. It was the weekend of the Hampshire College Festival of the Spoken Word, and by 1 a.m. Friday night on an unlit back road during a torrential rainstorm, I was absolutely lost. Now the signs were all there, and if I had read them for what they were, I might have seen it coming, but it's one thing to go looking for ghosts. It's another when you find one. Now I could blame it all on the fog, playing games with my headlights, tell myself that I never saw her, but I did. She was kneeling there on the drop-off side of a rain-swept switchback in a full bridal gown and veil, the train awash across the road behind her. Now, I told you the fog had been playing games with my headlights, seeming solid, but sifting away as the light angled off. But she did not, still there until she did not so much leave from my sight as she was gone. When my car reached the spot she had been in, it coughed and sputtered, threatening to stall out, and I prayed, God, I do not want to break down here. Just past the spot, my car resumed its dungeon growl, and I realized I was passing by Cemetery Hill Road, which is a real road, but it's also a reference point, a doorway. See, I knew I would see at least one ghost that weekend. It had been back in 1985 that Virginia McLaughlin broke my heart on the steps of the Edward F. Johnson Library and later finished the job in her bed. And my heart turned shades paler than dead, and I fled, leaving that ghost stuck behind me. We had been engaged until, with just a word, all the wedding dress up I had imagined vanished through the veil between our worldviews, like fog, still playing with the headlights of the same lost boy, but on a different rainy night. And I swore to myself that weekend I would not stand outside what had been her dormitory, and I would not look up at what had been her window. And of course I did. I looked up through that glass like I might grasp her back through one last glimpse of her ghost. I needed to know that it still hurt. But I didn't want to break down there either. I just felt guilty and sad to have seen one ghost at random on some roadside while knowing of the one my heart marooned there 17 years ago to that day, as it waited through all the nights between for me to own up, to grow up, to accept it now for who I was then and just let go. It set us both free. I don't know what I saw on the road that rain-sick Friday night, except that sometimes I think we see ghosts only so that we can release them and move on to someplace better in our lives without dragging our ghosts along with us and without leaving them behind. Thank you. Back to you, Crypt Keeper. You're muted, sir.
And that, ladies and gentlemen, was Rick McIntyre. Put your hands together. Put any two hands together you have been lying in your fridge or larder. And congratulations.
Oh, you asked for those links. They're right there.
Oh, thank you. Congratulations for not only a wonderful performance, but also a new life path in your position at the Lizzie Borden House. This is great news. And I hope the stories and the poems inspired by that, whether they're silly axe rhymes or something even larger comes about it. Check out his Patreon. For only $1 a month, you can subscribe to his work and get special poems, exclusive, and occasional ghost stories.
Yeah, you can also subscribe for like $50 a month and really get the same amount of stuff, but I eat better.
Yes, and there you go. I like that. I like that
Wait,
thought.
that sounded better in my head. All donations are gratefully
Yes.
appreciated. And yes, I do regularly or am getting to regularly posting things that happen in the house that I witness. And like today, somebody was in the gift shop with me, and we heard someone tug at the door, which somehow got locked. And when I went over to the gift shop door and opened it, there was nobody anywhere near that door or in the parking lot. And I looked at the guy and I said, like, you heard somebody just try to tug open and he was like, yep. So that's where I work.
Wow. Oh, these spirits tampering with everything. Someone needs to go to Inhuman Resources. All right, that was low hanging fruit. But yeah, support his PayPal.
Is there a Scooby bus parked out back?
There should be.
There
We got a
should
thing
be.
for Velma. We
Ruh-roh.
could talk. Whoa, is that
Uh-oh.
that was an unmuted moment. Yeah. Oh, whoops, sorry.
Well, thank you. Thank you
Hey,
very
thank
much, Rick.
you.
This
Yeah, no, it was great. It was always great to visit Stone Soup. I do have to go. I've got a different Zoom commitment coming up, so I
Well,
hate
thank you
to.
very much. Oh, Mr. Big Shot with all the schedules. My God.
I know. Well, look, I'm gonna turn into an angel, and
It was wonderful.
oh, there I go. I've ascended.
Oh,
So Chad's gone below. Rick has gone above. If that doesn't prove God is dead, nothing else does. Whoa, that was an improvised poem. I didn't even realize. All right, good night, everyone.
Thank you very
Um,
much, Rick. And
All right.
Good
applause
night,
as he
Rick.
leaves. There's a couple people who joined us late. And I'd love to hear them on the open mic if that's at all possible. You guys can catch the show tomorrow. We will be posting as a video. By the way, I'm in hell, and your applause, your emojis, or any money to Rick McIntyre helps me get out of hell, which means, given the fucking penny pinching habits of poets, I'm going to be here at least until June. Then I won't be able to tell the difference anyway. So what the hell? Let's welcome up next, Mr. Robert Fleming, to help close us out.
Good evening. I'm Robert Fleming, a visual poet from Delaware. May I share the screen?
I am working on that right now.
Thank you.
And give me one sec. Why is this giving me trouble? Here we go. You're good. You're good. Yes.
Thank you.
The sharing screen is yours.
As a tribute to the feature tonight, I just asked myself, what should you use to clean an axe? And I hope they will be selling this at the Lizzie Borden gift shop. And this is what it came up with. Classic pomade is made to clean your axes. So before you throw your axe, remember, get some pomade and clean your axe.
And clean yourself with Axe Body Slay. Sorry.
And in continuing with terrors of everyday life, as a writer, I never expected to be in this horror position. I have been published in a magazine called Synchronized Chaos over 30 times, and I was asked to write 2 book reviews. The first book review is called The Metapsychosis of Salvador Dracu. It's about computer malware. And this is a sample of one of the poems in the book, which was published by Blaze Box, a publisher. Add a mix of theurgy and hyperlink to newts of gram. I spin. Henosis in blogland neurons. In the wet gauze of death, spores of tag, the zot in the stasis of the web, digits. For countless others probing the net for my name, me numbered, me squared to 1,001 nights of the Boolean me, tapered, link rot of vanity, shaping me as helicoid in search of myself, to break me, pulp my savage accent, my hack herd packing words in viruses with the thin M dash. I was just baffled by this poem, and I asked one of my colleagues, J.D. Nelson, who like me has been published in Synchronized Chaos over 30 times, if he would help me and write the book review, and he never answered my email request. The second book is called it's in the Grammaton series. It's called Nostos by Irene Coronas. This is a sample from her book, NH1, 1, the large kittle known to be known as a piquant in small clairvoyant analogous to Lee's. Then all these numbers, Agnos claims a concavity, holds odd, material slicks, the side, walk, a cog garment on sale, taffel at the foot of a cartonnage, the text A 3 to 6, repeated 4 times, Nu pleroma, anaperis, the re-stells of Seth, front flyleaf, emended or paraclete, the demure value, dubious as jars on a bed. Agno tells us assumption is always close to eyes. Like the other book, I was just baffled what this might mean and why any press would publish this book. So I contacted another one of my colleagues who is a chemist, Maureen, and asked her if she would help me write the book review. She also refused. So now the terror of everyday life is a publisher who has published you over 30 times. I stand having to choose whether I will refuse their request. Such a terror. Has anybody ever seen a poem like either of those two?
Show them again. Show them again.
Okay.
Those aren't poems, they're just words thrown together.
Right. So this is the first. No, this is the first one. It's supposed to be from the point of view of computer security software, malware, which is supposed to help prevent your computer from getting a virus.
It's just words. They're not trying hard enough.
Right.
Robert, are you allowed to say, well, this, I don't really get it?
I could refuse. Yes, I could refuse.
No, but could you say, I don't really get it? And that be one sentence where you say something like, I don't really get it.
Yes, I could. I would say that and then refuse to write the book review.
Okay.
Right.
That,
This is the other one. The title is an actual chemical.
Ah,
Right. And then these numbers here, are these the numbers that you need to put together to buy your lottery ticket? Or are they coming from inside a Chinese fortune cookie? It's just a mystery.
Bible verses.
Uh-huh. So nobody's seen any poem or writing like this. Me neither.
not quite like this. I've seen weird stuff like this before, but it's haven't seen it for a while. It's I'm just gonna say different strokes for different writers. The language poetry crowd can definitely get out there, but I appreciate your
Cool.
I appreciate your occasionally being stupefied. You know, sometimes that doesn't get said enough, but thank you so much for sharing that, Robert. Up next, I want to get Mr. Brian Franco, Generalissimo Brian Franco.
Well, all I know is I'm very jealous of that skeleton that's hanging out with my girl.
He has
Brian,
a
you're
bone
gonna
to
have-
pick with your friend Rita.
You're gonna have to get into a fist fight with the skeleton for Rita's Rose's heart.
She has mine. I've told her
To be-
1,000 times.
To be fair, Rita's friend looks like he needs it more.
Okay. You know what? I'm gonna share the screen too, so give me a couple
Okay.
seconds. Because this is a piece that just got into a Dutch anthology called Pages. It's the second edition of Pages by it's really wonderful organization. They did have some online open mics earlier in the pandemic that I attended, but the first edition of the anthology, which I was also in, was one of the most beautiful anthologies I've ever been in. It was just so well designed and printed and just the most unique poetry. So this is the real reason the pyramids were built. I was told a decision I made could unravel my future. The time, aka past, present, and future, is in a constant state of flux. Present becomes past once future happens. The cycle continues on a moment by moment basis ad infinitum. Think of time as a ball of yarn with just enough yarn to roll down the side of a Giza pyramid. One end of the ball of yarn is attached to a post at the top of the pyramid. As it rolls down the side of the pyramid, unraveling, a waggly-tailed Labrador retriever impatiently awaits its arrival because its owner had soaked a tennis ball in beef broth, let it dry out, then threaded and wrapped enough yarn to roll down the side of a Giza pyramid around the ball. As the ball of yarn unraveled, the desert wind sent the scent of beef to the dog. When the tennis ball arrived, the dog grabbed the ball in its mouth and pulled it till the final length of yarn exited the ball. Think of the complete ball of yarn as the past, which turned into the present as it unraveled, that finally became the future when the dog started gnawing at it. So if someone ever tells you a mistake you made could unravel your future, tell them the physics of time disallows for the future to unravel. And I'm going to see if I can show you what's going to look like in one page. Yeah, that's what it looks like in one page. So kind of a neat concrete poem, which is, I haven't done a lot of concrete stuff. So anyways, thank you.
Oh, here we go. Bobbing in and out of hell. It's kind of like
Terry Rose Jerson is here, Chad.
What's that?
Terry Rose Jerson is here.
Oh yeah, I let her in. I hope you're able to read. Sorry,
she's amazing.
Excellent. Sorry you missed Rick's performance, but it'll be great to hear you for this part of the open mic. Before we go on to that, I want to bring up Mr. Jason Wright of Oddball Magazine.
Hello.
Hey. Hello, Jason.
I really wish where did Rick read from?
He read from he read from Parts Unknown, but his backdrop was the Lizzie Borden house.
Oh, I thought that was, I really wish I saw that. So
you'll see the video tomorrow.
Excellent.
We'll put your face in there and post.
In post. Thanks. Has anyone seen me and Chad on the week that was lately? We've been having a blast. Blasty blast.
Dear Lord, talk about a horror show. Anyway.
Yeah, I have a poem. I have a poem from this week. Just a humdrum death. I hope Chad got a kick out of that because I got a kick out of writing that one. So all right. So Chad, can I share Oddball Magazine? Can I share that?
Yeah, sure.
Right,
the
cool.
screen saving, the screen shearing is on, so anyone can present.
Goulash. I just had goulash.
Oh, jeez.
Oh, here we go.
I would have also accepted deviled eggs, but fuck it.
Over there is my ex-wife. No, I'm just kidding. That's the image right there. That's a cool image. So my poem is so actually, if you want to check out the Oddball show from, was that last week? I don't know.
Sunday.
So this one's called I Died a Humdrum Death. And I think it's hilarious. So you be the judge if you think this guy's mug is funny. Jagged Thought 499, I died a humdrum death. This is how it happened. It was a dark day. It always seems to be a dark day when you die. Even in a beautiful summer, when you die, it becomes dark. The clouds form and rapidly so. Over storm drains, the radio hums a bitter tune. The moon licks the sky. The salt of the sun turns blood orange. I died. It was a simple way to go. Just me, a boat, and a banjo's echo. One of many humdrum deaths. Nothing beautiful but the last breath. It wasn't a witch. It wasn't a switch. It wasn't a slit wrist or bruised fist. It wasn't a madman or a madwoman. Not mutilated or grasped and gapped. Nope, nothing at all like that. It wasn't a manhole slip or a slip disc. It wasn't a mouthful of water or lungs drowned in quick. It wasn't a bullet or a poisonous needle. It wasn't because I was old or feeble. It wasn't drugs or an overdose. It wasn't the haunting of red rum ghosts. Nope. It wasn't a brick or a slab of glass. It wasn't a slice. It wasn't a gash. I don't know what it was, but I know it wasn't any of that. I died a humdrum death. Not even newsworthy. A life not yet lived. A poem far too wordy. I never saw the glaciers. I never saw Venice. Always played checkers while others played chess. My humdrum death for a second. The funny pages had a happy ending, I guess. Like something out of a movie, it wasn't. Unless the movie was Deliverance, then that exactly was it. Waiting for Chad to show up.
Well, you got to unshare.
Hi, you didn't see my. You didn't see my.
Jason, I want to suggest an alternative title for that poem. After I ate green eggs and ham, I died an untold death.
like poisoned by green eggs and ham. That was pretty good. Yeah. Did everyone get that was about the movie Deliverance and how funny that is? I mean, you think
I just love the randomness of the Deliverance line. I've only seen like a few scenes from Deliverance. I haven't seen the whole.
Everyone knows that one scene of the banana, and I kind of like foreshadowed it in the middle of the poem. And I was like, oh, how am I gonna die? I don't know. What's a way to die? I don't know, from Deliverance. So I liked it. I thought it was hilarious.
Well,
the skeleton loved it.
Yeah.
The skeleton always smiles. No, anyway.
Ghoulish.
That's bullshit. That's ghoul shit. Let's
shit.
Oh, fuck me. Okay, if Teresa Rose Jerson is still listening to all this, she's more than welcome to read. So thank you so much. And for everyone who's joining us for the first time or the first time in a while, we're here every week, 7 to 9 on Wednesdays, and hope you come back next time.
I wrote this in a workshop with Kelly McAllister, and it's a spell of some kind. Hair of the dog, wart of a witch, throw in a ditch, spit 3 times, stir with vines, whisker of the cat, blood from a gnat, scream of a crone, a ring on the phone, slap of a knee, a skeleton key, screw of a shrew, kiss from a toad, kill from the road, laugh of a cow, squeal from a sow, turn this around, don't make a sound. And then I have a short one about fear. Things that we fear. Dark shadows, vampire necks, fangs bite, squirting out life force, forced to grow, fangs of my own, fate eternally cursed, doomed to hunt victims, never be allowed to satiate the insatiable thirst for blood. And that's it, unless you want one more.
Okay.
I have an amusing one. Every Halloween, married to a person who thought everything was evil, I used my son's birthday, which was in October, to celebrate it. We would buy costumes and I would decorate the house to the theme, make a cake. His friends from school would be invited and we would have a great time. Every year this would continue until the guests grew into smart-ass teenagers filled with angst and hormones. My least favorite developmental stage. The last party we ever had became memorable for a different reason. The highlights were their idea of party games, which solely employed girls and boys wandering off into rooms behind closed doors to discover the burning answers
to the relentless questions of puberty. Thank you.
Thank you, Teresa. And with that, we must bid adieu and fond farewell to tonight's Tales from the Soup. I thank everyone for getting into the spirit. I thank everyone for coming by. I'm a Karen. I make every day a Taylor. Thank you, Robert. This is the part where we get together and wave. We wave goodbye. Even little Bill here waves a little bit. So how do I make this work in this? How do I make this work in hell? So we wave. There we are. Come on, Karen, wave. And
Karen doesn't have hands.
oh man. And how does she call a cell phone to call on barbecues? Anyway, we're in hell, and a call from hell helps me get out. So thank you very much, and have yourselves an excellent evening. Next week's Stone Soup will hopefully be announced by at the very least the weekend, and hopefully I'll try more tricks like this. Spoilers, this is my girlfriend's little thing for nightwear, but it ended up looking so good. I'm gonna start filming Emperor Palpatine memes and stuff like that. So join us next week. Do it. And I hope you all enjoyed tonight. I hope you guys look at the video, which is going to be playing tomorrow at Stone Soup. Tomorrow at my YouTube. It'll be loaded up hopefully by 9 o'clock, no later. Not much else to plug at this point. More things are going to be happening. Hopefully I'll have formal. Oh, I should plug, if you guys want to submit a poem with a modern take on horror, send it to us at oddballmagazine.com. The deadline is tonight at midnight. We've already gotten some nice pieces, and we're hopefully going to have some more exciting pieces before Halloween comes on Tuesday the 31st. And I'll be greeting kids like this. So this will be yes. I'll be wearing this outfit, and I'll be not allowed to be within 51 feet of girls, ghoul scouts. Anyway, let's all right, that was a deep cut. Anyway, let's that was
Chad,
a stabbing cut.
Chad, you're going to be your girlfriend's Justin Bieber fantasy.
Ew. Ew. That's not even a horror pun, and it scares me. Thank you very much, Robert. And the rest of you have an excellent night. We'll see you next week. And stay tuned on the Stone Soup Facebook group. Join the Stone Soup Facebook group and you'll get announcements. Check out my website. I'll be linking a poem that's getting published tomorrow morning in the Arts Views of mine. I'm very excited for that news. I'll be hopefully that'll be posted sometime after 8 or 9 o'clock tomorrow. Thank you guys very much. And more calls for submissions will be posted on the Facebook group. And good luck, everyone. Thank you guys very much, and have yourself an excellent evening.
Happy Halloween.
Goes over. See you next time.
Happy Halloween.
Good night, all.
Night all.